naming our daughter after my mill, help. So my husband and I are pregnant and we just found out that we are having a girl. We are so excited. My mill passed away from COVID very suddenly in August and my father-in-law has asked that we name our girl the mother's name, which was Esther. I do not want to do this and here are my reasons. 1. I greatly dislike the name Esther. It is extremely old-fashioned and does not sound like a cute girl name. 2. My mill was not my favorite person. We did not get along. 3. My mill did not attend our wedding because of religious differences. 4. My mill tried to sabotage my wedding the day of. Of course, do not mind the middle name to honor her, just not the first name. I thought of maybe caving in and naming her Esther and then giving her the nickname Ellie and then just always calling her Ellie. It's a very sensitive topic because it happened so recently and we are all still being affected by it. I don't want to offend anyone by saying no. I also feel if I say no to Esther as the first name, I can't use any other family name for our daughter or any other children we might have. Right now my husband is indifferent and could take it or leave the name Esther. Any advice? Personally, I wouldn't name my child after someone I didn't like, middle or first name. Ask how it is they can expect that your child carry your mill's name when she didn't see fit to go to your wedding. If your mill had it her way, there would be no such child, so asking your daughter to carry her name seems incredibly inappropriate. Though I 100% agree with you, they don't think of it that way, unfortunately. Right now my husband is indifferent and could take it or leave the name Esther. Any advice? If he can take it or leave it and is indifferent, then use it as a middle name and suggest another forename. Phil can request, which I think is unfair, but it's not his decision and he should be big enough to know that. I am glad someone said this. I thought it was unfair for him to ask, but I thought it was in my head. Imagine naming your daughter Esther and telling her the truth about her grandma when she's grown up. I wouldn't want this for my child. Just don't do it at all. Because your Phil started with an outrageous request, her first name, does not mean you have to compromise with her middle name. He's used a common negotiating technique called anchoring, asking for something beyond what you consider achievable in order that the other party feels that they have to come up way past what they actually want to offer. It is pure manipulation. It sounds like you didn't get along with Esther. Just because she has now, sadly, died, does not mean you should pay tribute to her in your child's name. It's a terrible idea. Don't appease Phil, who is being unreasonable and cannot but know it. You and hubby are the only ones with a say in your child's name. That Phil came up with this ridiculous ask does not mean you have to do anything. He's used a common negotiating technique called anchoring, asking for something beyond what you consider achievable in order that the other party feels that they have to come up way past what they actually want to offer. It is pure manipulation. Thank you. So many of the regular teenagers answering questions in this thread are literally being taken in by this, even though they're just reading it. No, you don't need to use the name at all. It's an unreasonable ask in any situation, and super unreasonable when you didn't even like the woman, and the woman obviously hated you. Just say no. It's that simple. Is it worth to wait for a special person to lose your virginity? I'm turning 25 next month and I think I might be desperate or something. For the longest time I thought that I wanted my first time to be meaningful. Even as an antisocial teen I thought about the idea of having sex as a deep experience that I should share with someone who, hopefully, sees it the same way. A part of me believes I used that thought as an excuse to not work harder on my interpersonal relationships in the past, and, although I've grown up and come to have self-confidence and build different relationships, not just romantic, another part of me also still believes that childish idea. It's like a dream, you know? Like if I really had hopes it is in fact special, and if I was to give up that hope I'd never know if it could have happened. I know socially we probably give it more weight than we should, but damn, I truly feel I'm missing an important part of being alive. Haha. I'm sorry for the awful redaction, it's pretty late here and I had this thought I couldn't let go. What you want out of it and what it means to you varies from person to person. I have had completely meaningless sex that was great, and really meaningful sex that was objectively pretty bad. Physical and emotional side of things don't always line up, so sometimes you're physically compatible with someone you're not super into emotionally, but sometimes you're super emotionally connected with someone that's just kind of bad in bed. Most important thing is that there's good communication, trust and respect. A guy I started seeing recently was actually an older virgin. He has pretty bad anxiety, and I think he might have a history of avoidant personality disorder, but we'd been friends for a while and he started opening up to me about his struggles with intimacy. He asked if I'd be willing to start a very slow relationship with him, and it took him months to feel comfortable enough with intimacy for things to get that far. Once we had sex he was like, huh, I thought that would seem like a bigger deal. Not sure why I built that up so much in my head. He then worried I'd take that statement as an insult and reassured me that wasn't what he meant, haha. But I got what he was saying. He had expected it to be this hugely emotional, spiritual event. While I'm not saying it isn't emotional or spiritual for some, I think it's worth realizing you might be building it up more in your head and that might actually make you more anxious about it. It's always up to you as a person. I was 20 when I lost mine to a stranger/one night stand because I was sick of my friends teasing me about it and introducing me to guys as so-and-so the virgin, like it was a title. So I got blackout drunk and finally did it. And it sucked, honestly. Wish I had waited. Not for Mr. Perfect, but for someone that at least cared about me. I have a friend that I met in grad school who was still a virgin in her mid-20s. She built up this big idea in her mind that it had to be special and have transcendent feelings. She's not religious, just never felt ready, personally. I always got the impression that she had pretty low self-esteem, because there were definitely guys who were interested. She just never reciprocated their moves, because she didn't think they were interested, and weren't special enough. She and I still talk, all the time, and she is one of my best friends. And she's still a virgin, at almost 40. Still waiting on Mr. Right to deliver her takeout, or something. Do I remember the guy I lost my virginity to? Yeah. His name was Aaron, and he was from Georgia. But he has no influence on my life at all, and at this point, it's been so long, I'm sure I couldn't pick him out of a lineup now. So, I'll give you the advice that my mother gave me, that has always served me well. Only ever have sex because you truly want to, and with someone who respects you. I promise you, the opportunity is out there if your goal is to lose your virginity. Just go where the people you would like to have sex with hang out, be nice, and make friends. Then don't overthink it when it does happen. And she's still a virgin, at almost 40. Still waiting on Mr. Right to deliver her takeout, or something. Sounds like if she keeps this attitude she may never find a partner, but I hope that she finds one soon. It sounds like you are hoping to fall in love, and that's a totally reasonable and wonderful thing to hope for. Sex, especially the first time, is often awkward and weird and not always magical or romantic. It should be safe and consensual, but you probably won't get the fairy tale experience the first time. Hopefully it will be fun and sweet though. Good sex takes practice and communication. Hopefully as you have more sex and or develop a relationship with a partner you can start to have really meaningful physical connections too. I really think that is absolutely subjective. It really depends on you and what you hold as valuable in your heart. Sex, to some, is just sex, so a spiritual connection isn't something that would have anything to do with it, but to others it might be a moral issue. There is no absolute right answer because the only person your right choice in this particular situation is you, sweetie. You just decide what you think is your right choice, because in the end what others think is your right choice is irrelevant. Smiley face. How do I, 20F, nicely break up with my creepy boyfriend? TW, sexual assault. My boyfriend treats me well. Nice guy, very sweet, takes care of me. He's the complete opposite of me, but we work. Edit, when I said that I meant throughout our entirety of our relationship he's never hit me, yelled at me, and genuinely did take care of me in terms of talking things out and helping me heal from past traumas from childhood and past relations. Ironically, He did the two things that triggered my traumas. Those two incidents he did basically ruined our relationship. Before June 2019, I was really happy, and to this day I can't understand why he did what he did besides him thinking his DCK. June 2019, I caught him touching me sexually while I was sleeping, one of my triggers from my childhood, and he knows about it. He also recorded videos of my vagina when I was asleep, plus recorded videos of us having sex without me knowing. I found out by accident. I don't think he would have told me if I didn't bring it up. We took a break for a while, but I ended up staying with him. He basically cried more than I did and told me the videos were for him only and he had no justification. I stayed with him starting March 2020. Keep in mind he treats me really well despite that one incident. Since then he'll ask me if it's okay to take videos of us having sex. Sometime I'll say yes or no and he'll listen and doesn't violate me while asleep. Nov 2020, he told me he was sexting a girl, that he saw it only as porn. He told the girl he has a GF that he loves and is loyal. He sent videos of us having sex to that girl. He sent him jacking off to that girl's nudes. He said he'd want to have sex with her and said that she'd do it better than me. He lied to me saying he defended me and only said those things to make her stop sexting him. I'm leaving out a lot of detail, but I don't want this longer than it is. I get anxiety every night thinking about it and I'll cry throughout the day randomly. I think he feels so guilty that he constantly has a pit in his stomach and has been drinking every night. He understands logically what he did but doesn't have the heart to see me go. Every time I try to leave he begs me to stay and cries so much I feel so bad. This happened last year too. I think that's why I'm still with him. Yes, I loved him, but what he did to me makes me feel so damn sick, and he still says he loves me, which is BS. Can't take it anymore, but I'm scared to be alone. BC, he's also my best friend. What do I do? Why would you want to nicely break up with him? You are giving him too much credit, TBH. Girl, don't be nice, be petty. But whatever you do, leave now. Don't hurry, you'll find new fans and a new man. Fuck this sorry excuse for a man. Girl, even half of what you wrote would have been enough to leave. Please leave, you deserve so much better. Honey, if that is your best friend, you are better off in a damn snake pit. He sexually assaulted you. He has made and distributed pornography of you without your consent. Your best friend shouldn't do that. Your best friend would be enraged at the idea of someone doing that to you. I know how hard it is when they've cried. I have been there, I promise. But he doesn't love you. This isn't what love looks and feels and acts like. You are being abused and manipulated. Leave him to his lascivious shit and go give yourself a chance to have a real best friend and experience a love that doesn't assault you. Stay safe, I'm wishing you well. As a guy, I think it's fair to say that stuff will never change and will probably get worse. If you stay, you will have to put up with this stuff forever. Better start looking for a new best friend.